Uh, Being proud is the topic that I nominated. And I wanted to tackle it from many different angles. So,
Good, because
so
I only
many
have one right
things.
now.
Okay. Well, we could start with your one, but I think you want me to start with mine. So, what I observed in the last few weeks is that it is really, really easy for me to be proud of other people. My daughter, I'm really proud of. And I say it quite regularly, and I stopped in my tracks the other day and was like, what does that actually mean? Because it's a bit like saying, I love you. I'm proud of you. It just kind of rolls off the tongue, but what does it actually mean?
Mm.
And is the meaning lost when it's said so regularly? So that's one aspect of this that I wanted to kind of tackle and pull apart a little bit.
So
Um,
further to that, have you figured out what proud means to you when you're talking about your daughter, let's say?
um, there's a feeling of my heart, like it's like this warm feeling of she's met expectations.
Whose?
Yeah, good question. See where I'm going,
Your expectations?
right? So, this is the thing, right? Now, the other issue that is around the being proud, and this is a very personal issue for me, my parents never told me that they were proud of me.
Mm.
So I find that I'm counteracting that by telling Angel how proud I am of her all the time.
You're overcompensating?
Possibly.
Can I say this? Is this your penis car? Is this like you're trying to like extra big, extra whatever, just
Totally. Right? Okay. So I know that that's playing into this as well. Um, it was particularly highlighted um, at her engagement party over the weekend because there was a number of different people that were there for her. So there were people from her uh, high school years, there were people from her current workspace that I'd never met before, like her boss was there. That was fun. Um, there were people who have known her since she was born. There were family. There were Cecil's friends who have gotten to know Angel through Cecil, but not Angel over, a strong period of time. Um, and there was just such a mix of people there for both Angel and Cecil. And then I found myself feeling proud of how the two of them handled the whole night. And I'm like, what is it with this proud thing? Um, and then all these other people are also commenting about how proud they are of what she's achieved. So when I was having a conversation with her boss, he's very proud about what she's been achieving. And as I was listening to him saying that, I was almost like, this is the bit that made it occur to me how regularly we say this sort of thing and what does that really mean?
Mhm.
Because I tell you, it's a bit of an odd position to be in when you get to meet your daughter's boss and they rave about how amazing your daughter is. Like it's really interesting. It was a really interesting
But
experience
what
for
happens
me.
inside you when you hear the nice things about your daughter from the boss?
It was so weird because it I know this about Angel. Oh, she's so lovely and she's caring and she's this and she's that. And it's like, yeah, I know you're talking about my daughter. Why are you confirming something I already know? It was that sort of reaction.
Hmm.
On the outside, it was all, oh, I'm glad that she's, um, she feels like she keeps telling us how much she loves being part of the clinic and blah blah blah. And so I would just come back with that on the outside, but on the inside, I was like, "You're telling me something I already know." And then I was like, "Oh, I wonder if every time I say this to Angel, she's like, maybe there's
What happens inside her?
right, and is that just my wound that stuff happens inside of me, and is that something else that?" you know, because my experience is such a singular experience, and I can't assume that just because that happens for me, that happens for everyone. And I thought, oh, this might be worth just pulling apart a bit with Ian.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to where you're at. And I had to laugh to myself as you started. I'm like, she stole mine. I can't. What am I going to say now? Because I had a similar feeling, because I was kind of struggling for, okay, what do I want to do with this topic? How do I relate to this one? And I thought to myself, yes, I can be proud of my kids, and I have very specific instances where, like, my daughter singing at a recital and just seeing the fact that she's able to, like, show some confidence in front of 200 plus people, like singing um something that I don't know if I could do, right? Or even having the same experience of going to, like, parent teacher stuff with my kids, and them with the teachers, and teachers are saying, oh yeah, if I could have 20 Mias, or if all of my kids put forth the effort that your son did, and you just get this, I get this welling up inside. I don't get so warm here. I get like emotional here. I start to get like teary-eyed, and I almost can't talk. I'm like, I know this, but I kind of don't believe it at the same time. Like, there's this weird, uh, like, they don't act like that at home. Like, I can't, like, I believe you. And I think for the most part, I know that that's there, but sometimes I question it a little bit, because I don't necessarily always see it at home. Actually, I remember we were walking through Costco not long ago. I don't know if I told you this. And I don't know, somebody's yogurt fell out of their tray or out of their cart or something, and Avery kind of like runs back, grabs it, and hands it to the lady. And uh, the lady, when we passed, she said, "You're doing something right."
Ah,
And
yeah.
then like, it felt really good. And then like 5 minutes later, we passed the same woman, and she stopped me again. She said, "I have two kids myself. You are doing a really great job." So then I started like, because it's not really about the action of my son, which yes, I'm proud of, but it's my reaction to that pride is my stuff, not their stuff.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
and it's my relationship with pride and being proudful and being appreciated that I struggle with too. And I think, like you, I don't know how often I heard it, especially from my dad, but from my mom, I know I would have heard it a few times. But from my dad, I don't think, if it was probably a kind of like in passing little tap on the back, good job, right? But maybe not the words proud ever coming out of his mouth. Not that I'm blaming him or think that he's done something wrong. I don't know if I heard it, or I didn't hear it, even if it was said.
And I think I still blame my mother for not ever saying it to me. So I'm still in that little category, which is an interesting filter to put on anything else. Um, so yes, so there was these multiple reactions, and I'm glad I am not the only one that has this sort of, it's almost like I was almost uncomfortable hearing that from someone else about Angel. And yet it's the thing I've strived for 25 years. Like, so then I had to pay attention. Well, I got another example of where I had to pay attention to being proud. And I know this is going to surprise you. It was related to the renovations. I know this is ongoing. And we also have a show here. I don't know if you have this show. I don't know where else it's done around the world, but we have a show called The Block. And what it is 5 teams have to renovate a house or an apartment, and they have 1 week to do one room, and it's the whole show, and it goes for like 12 weeks or 7 weeks or whatever the
We
number
have
of rooms
shows
there are.
like that, but yes, not that one.
And I'm currently watching The Block, so I'm watching all of the what they're having to do that renovation. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that one. Oh yeah, I had to do that thing. And then they get judged on it every week. And so they have these stylists come in, and I'm sitting there going, oh. don't ever want a stylist walking into my ensuite. They're going to pull it apart. And then I would walk into my ensuite and I go, oh, it feels so pretty. It just feels really lovely. And I've been doing the same into the bedroom and now the walk-in, which is now complete, which was just a marathon. And it's like, hang on, why am I feeling like someone's going to come in and observe what it is I've done and have an opinion, and I'm going to go, oh, I don't want them to do that. Why is it that I dumb down my ability to be proud of the fact that I just achieved it? Somehow opinions were getting in the way of me being completely proud of what it is I'd done.
And opinions of others.
Yeah. And whatever their expectations would be about whether I achieved it or not. So I started to connecting expectations or opinion, let's go expectations and opinions of others was connected to this feeling proud in both positive and negative. Because quite honestly, the opinion of Angel's boss was really positive, and yet I had a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And me having the thought of someone else coming in and having a look at what I've achieved and how I've styled my bedroom and what colors my rugs are, like, because that's important in life. Like, that's such an important aspect that they would think that that maybe wasn't strong enough or not good colors or whatever. And I was letting that impact my ability to feel proud about what we've achieved. And yet on random occasions, because we've had the rooms finished for about 2 weeks now, I mean, there's probably about 10 things in each room that still needs to be done. But they're essentially finished.
Mm-hmm.
And on random occasions, both Renz and I will just...
Avery, dude, we're live. We're talking.
Hi.
We'll talk later. You can come down after.
Say hi.
I know, but we're talking live now. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Ciao.
I love how he comes in and says hello. Weren't we saying about real life stuff?
Exactly, real life right there.
So we will randomly go, oh, I just love the feel of this room. Or Renz will say, oh, Chris, I really love how you had a vision and you've made it come to life. And it's like, when he's proud of me, it's not actually, he didn't care what color the rug would be. He didn't care. He's like, I don't care what color you pick. Does it work? Do you like it? Is it workable? Yay, winning. He's just proud that I had a vision and I've brought it into real life. And it's like all of those other surface things, all those other expectations or opinions about what color the rug should be or whether I should have more cushions on the bed or whatever is so not relevant to the feeling of being proud.
Mm-hmm.
And it just made me, it just had so many highlighted examples of proud. And for the first time in my life, I feel legitimately proud of what we've achieved in the house. And I think that all the other achievements I've ever done have had a bit more of a motivation of pleasing others. And maybe at the age of 53, I finally had the first example of just because I achieved it.
I think the value in that is the fact that you're proud of it for you, right? You don't necessarily need, or you don't need the validation of other people to tell you whether or not what you've done is good or not, right? So just just coming to that realization for yourself is the winning, right? Being okay with what you created, being proud of start to finish, and this is what we created, and I like it. And I don't need someone to write on my Facebook post and say, you did a great job. Oh, it's so nice. Or it looks like garbage. What are you thinking? If you can post and not have an expectation for it, and when you look at those comments, you don't think one positive or negative thing more or less afterwards, I think you hit the nail on the head.
And I had hesitated in posting up anything, and it did go up earlier this week because I just had this moment where I was like, I now don't care. I now don't care whether it's what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to share it because I think it's fun to share it. And I had a funny little comment to share because I thought it was funny. And when I told Brens what I wrote as the little post, he thought it was funny. So, I was like, that's good. That works. And there are a few people who have been watching from the sides who go, oh, what have you done now? Have you got it finished yet? So it's a good way to kind of show people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really haven't minded what the comments are. They don't. I'm like, well, thank you. I'm grateful for the observation, and I love that you've, um, loved it. But in actual fact, the reaction that I was most interested in was whether somebody thought my little blood, sweat, and tears comment was funny. Like that was what I was more interested in about than whether somebody cared about whether my ensuite looked great or my walk-in looked amazing or no, I just wanted to know if they thought it was funny because I thought it was funny.
That just goes to show that you, because of the way you showed up in it and the fact that you're okay with it, it doesn't matter what anybody else is going to say. And I think that's the key for everybody else who listens to this is, do I need somebody else to say yay or nay for me to be okay? Well, that's good. I like that. But it's not, because we all have like a lens that we see our life through, and we're all going to see things slightly differently regardless of the situation, and we're all going to have opinions as to what's nice, not nice, whatever. So if we let go of that, I think and be okay with that, then we're in a good place.
Yes. And yet I think that's one of the things I have struggled with, and not even realizing it was a struggle.
Well, there was more to mine, but I have a feeling Australia and Canada, I assume, have a similar thing with pride, and I'm assuming it's like a cultural thing where like it's not okay to be proud or boastful of the things that you've done, but I think that's kind of how it's been for anybody under the British monarchy or whatever, right?
We play it down. We just play it down.
Which was the story that I had. So what I was thinking about when this came up is, yes, I can do it for my kids, but I don't know if I do it great for me. And the thing that came to mind lately, the last thing that I was proud of, was me making the quarterfinals in my CrossFit season. So that was the first time that ever happened. I was proud of that. And then I did the quarterfinals, and I did great. Like I'm in the top 15% of people my age. Like that's pretty good.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. But as soon as somebody says that, oh, that's impressive, good, oh, I could never do that, you're amazing, blah blah, and I'm like, I don't know, like I did okay, and I start compare. So there's a couple things that are going on. I start comparing myself to the previous versions of myself, who were maybe stronger, a little faster, a little whatever, or to other people, or I just start downplaying myself as to how well it was that I did. Not that this competition means anything in real life. However, for me, I'm still playing down what I'm proud of. So why am I letting somebody else's thoughts, ideas, opinions on me affect my ability to celebrate this and to show it off, or to, just share it?
Because ultimately, if you're playing that down, it starts to impact your self-esteem and your confidence and your belief in self, and it starts impacting all of those areas, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it happens really subtly.
Dude, I'll come see you after.
No, but when we like
7:30, 7 minutes.
I want to end the call.
I won't end the call with Chris. I'll call you. Okay.
I love this. Ah.
I'm glad you're liking it.
Say bye.
I'll let you come say goodbye. Okay. No problem. Yes, and your whole hand.
That's right. Me.
Hey, what am I gonna do?
What are you going to do?
What are
We
you gonna
just
do?
have to embrace. We just have to embrace.
I'm in pain.
Yes, we need to see you later, Avery.
Oh,
Well, I'll see you after, bud.
So back to where we were talking. I think I remember what it was. That playing down really does start to chip away at that self-esteem or self-belief or self-confidence, all that self stuff. And I think it happens really subtly. And I think that's a danger that affects people in ways that I mean, it's taken me 50 odd years to realize how much the expectations around feeling proud of something has really had a major effect on me. So my recommendation is feel proud.
But you first have to note, yeah, I think people don't have a problem necessarily feeling proud initially. It's what happens after that moment. Am I allowed to celebrate it? Do I want to share it with others? And do I care what other people think? So
Really good points.
you have to be able to at least be aware that that's going to happen. Can I do these things or be these things or whatever? And then you might have to start picking it apart for yourself. Like, why did I care that XYZ person said this about that? I don't know. That was really
where the 10 other people that said something, I didn't care what they thought, but that one person made a difference.
exactly.
And they're not always a significant person in your life either. This is the other thing that can happen, is that they're not a significant, and they probably shouldn't be a significant influence, and yet they can kind of have an impact.
I'm not sure if this is exactly what's happening with my daughter at this very moment. She has to do a presentation, like write an article, and then she's gonna have to present it. But she mentioned to me today that I don't want to do it in front of these people. They're not my friends. So I wonder if in her head, is she worried about what's going to come out and what are they going to think? And even if she's proud of what she writes, is she going to let other people affect her? So if she's picked up some of these beliefs and stuff from me, which is 100% possible, right? We pass a lot of these
we do
garbage ideas on, thinking that we know what we're talking about for 53 years or 47 years, and they don't necessarily serve them anymore. So, being able to question your kids on this stuff, like, it's good for them too, right? To try to help them debunk this stuff earlier so that they realize that, no, I can be proud of what I wrote and what I thought and share my beliefs and not worry about what anybody else says, whether they are her friends or not her friends. Because she also mentioned, I'd rather do this in front of my friends. I care what they think, something to that effect. So yeah.
And we're all a bit like that, aren't we? I mean, admittedly, the less pretty version of the renovations have been shared with close personal friends rather than people who are outside of that circle, because it feels safer and it's less scary. And you can hear that in the story with your daughter, with the ability to do a presentation in front of friends that feels much more safe. But in all honesty, it shouldn't matter either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It shouldn't.
Hey,
But right now
it
it does.
shouldn't, but it does. Yeah. So this is something that is definitely for me still a work in progress, but I feel like in the last couple of weeks, I've been able to have it highlighted and presented really loudly, in ways that have let me navigate what my real-time reaction is
Mm.
within it. Yeah, no doubt there'll be some more examples that are coming up as well to just reaffirm that whether I've completely moved through this or that there's still some other little glitches that might still be there. I'm voting on the glitches.
But you can't change what you can't see. So this is a move in the right direction for sure.
Definitely. Yes.
Awesome.
There we go. Awesome. Well, considering you thought you would have nothing to contribute to this topic, I love it.
I never said nothing. I had one thing. We happen to have essentially the same things, however, just with different stories in the background. But yeah,
Totally.
it
Yeah.
just
Awesome.
speaks to we're all going through this similar or the same things, but just with a different story in the background. So
Absolutely.
not alone,
Awesome.
everybody.
No, we're with you.